Hello, Packers fans. I'm currently at the Atlanta airport after a trip to the Cotton Bowl. But we are here to make this happen. It is one of the most important weeks of the Packers season coming up, one of the most important times for the Green Bay Packers 2023 season. And I was not going to go this week without talking Packers with my friend Big B on the other side of the country with me. How are you doing, Big B?
Yeah, doing pretty well. It seems like a good week to get a win.
Mm.
Outside of the Jair suspension, all that nonsense. Been a pretty good week. Feeling pretty confident.
Yeah. Okay. So we will be talking about that. We have a short time period. I got to catch a flight out of Atlanta to St. Louis. So we will quickly get into this game. First off, I think the most important thing is the fact that Jair Alexander was indeed suspended for his decision. You can make what you want about it, but his decision to go out for the coin toss and make the decision on the coin toss in that Carolina game all because he is from Charlotte, and he thought that meant he had a right to go out there. Which, okay, like I get you wanting to have a special moment, but also like put the team first. This is not about you, Jair, and especially when you have missed a lot of games this year, and when you have played, you have not been very good. Um, Big B, I'll let you give your thoughts on the situation first before we kind of delve into more of the rationale from the Packers side of it.
Yeah, well, overall, and like when I first saw that Jair was suspended, I did not like it at all, and I still really don't like the decision just because it's a win or go home game this week. Playoffs are on the line, and you need your best players out on the field. And I would assume the coaches would want their best players on the field also. So just suspending Jair right now is just seems like a bad move, and just seems like they're just giving up, kind of. But but I understand why they suspended him, and I understand everything to go along with it. I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, I can't do much about it. And I
I
still
love.
think the time should have been removed in a lengthy conversation.
Okay, I love that Todd is in the chat here and saying that Ja has too much thoughts for Big B. Um, Big B, can you talk a little bit about this Vikings matchup while I try to mute my mic in this airport?
Yeah, well, the Vikings. We're going to Minnesota. The Vikings are rolling in with, I think the dude's name is Jaron Hall at quarterback. Nick Mullins got benched. Josh Dobbs, of course, hasn't played in a few weeks. Jaron Hall came in after Kirk Cousins got hurt for his first little bit of action during the Packers game, like a couple months ago, I think now. So now with him getting a full week of practice, I'm excited to see how he does. I am terrified to see what Joe Barry does and see what happens on that end, because knowing Joe Barry, he'll make that man look like the next coming of Jesus Christ and Joe Montana in his prime combined. So I'm excited to see that. And also Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And of course, like we just said, Jair is going to be out, so I'm excited to see Carrington Valentine and Corey Ballantyne match up with Justin Jefferson, see how they handle that. And of course, the Vikings defense. Of course, they always have a good defense. So Jordan Love is going to have his hands full again. He's going to have his hands full the next 2 weeks, actually, because the Bears defense is cooking on all cylinders. They have really improved since week 1, and even a few weeks ago, the Montez Sweat trade really helped them out. But we'll talk about that next week, probably on our Bears preview. But the Vikings have a great defense. Their pass. I don't know how good their pass rush is, but they got Harrison Smith. He's been amazing for a very long time, and he's always a threat. Yeah, I don't know where to go else with this. They're not very good. There we go.
Yeah, I'm going to battle through the adversity here and just say, a lot of what you mentioned about Brian Flores' defense is going to be a tough challenge for Jordan Love. I would compare it to the Atlanta Falcons' defense as far as the pressure packages they bring. That was not a great game for Jordan. Made some mistakes there. And so it will be tough for him. And I also think it will be a good test, really, to see how far Jordan has come from early in the season and those struggles he had with heavy blitz teams. So I'm excited to see that. You mentioned Brian Flores there, and we were just talking about the pressure he has. But then, yes, Kaden, I am at the airport. I'm at Atlanta Airport. Um, so with Brian Flores' defense, it's interesting too because the talent he has, it's not like he has a buttload of talent on that team, and even it's not like he has too many different players from what the Vikings defense had last year, but he has just turned it around, and it is just really frustrating to watch as a Packers fan. You see Joe Barry, you see Matt Fleur hold on to Joe Barry for all these years. And they are even making additions to the talent in the defensive room, but they are not able to make any sort of progress year after year. And then Flores comes in with a team that played bad defensively last year and is able to turn them around into one of the best units in the league. So that's that. And with Joe Barry, you mentioned it, Big B, the quarterbacks he's allowed to have great days on. Like, can you talk a little bit about that? Tommy DeVito and then Bryce Young and now probably Jaron Hall.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Packers defense making terrible quarterbacks look amazing, but like Joey said, Tommy DeVito and Baker Mayfield, back-to-back NFC Players of the Week. Baker Mayfield, of course, seems like he's not as terrible as he used to be, so he's really not in this conversation. But he made Desmond Ridder look like amazing. He made Kenny Pickett look incredible, and he's not very good either. Let's see what else. What other quarterbacks did he make look good?
Plenty of them. And you mentioned Ridder. I'm just going to get my talking in when I can. You mentioned Ridder there on the Falcons team, and I just think as much as Matt LaFleur is trying to play it coy on that he's not sure what he's going to do this offseason, many of Packers Twitter have kind of agreed, okay, if Matt LaFleur decides to hold on to Joe Barry this year, then next year, every strike against Joe Barry is 2 strikes against Matt LaFleur. This is his decision. If he decides to keep him, he is deciding to go down on that sinking ship with Joe Barry. So that's that. He can choose to stay with his friend, or he can make the right move for this football team and put his ego and friendship aside. So it'll be interesting to see. Back to that Panthers game with Bryce Young, the defense was horrendous. Even with Jair Alexander back in the lineup. Offensively, though, that's bright spot. I mean, they did score 33 points. Mainly, I thought we once again learned the importance of Aaron Jones in this Panthers games. It seems like every time Aaron Jones comes back from either injury or just not being involved much in the offense in previous weeks, we learn, he's pretty good. And so I hope Aaron Jones continues to remain healthy. And, seeing him perform like that, my main takeaway is just like, okay, this offense needs to have one of Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, or Luke Musgrave. If they do not have one of those guys on offense, then they, nothing is going to flow, nothing is going to work, and Jordan Love is going to be dealt a bad hand for his development. So that was my thoughts on it offensively. The young wide receivers for Green Bay had an amazing day. Both Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed. Big B, any other thoughts on that game offensively for the Packers? Or I think we've hit on Joe Barry enough over these past 5 weeks and really past 3 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Joe Barry rest a week, even though that shouldn't be allowed. But I'm gonna let him rest. But I'm just gonna say, this offense has been incredible this entire year. I've mentioned this previously in other episodes, but just the way this offense has not skipped a beat even with all the injuries has just been incredible to watch. Like, Bo Melton comes in and he's at Jaden Reed's spot, and he's looking like Jaden Reed out there. He's playing incredible. Like, it's just been amazing to see how this offense just hasn't. Every time it's been hit with adversity, they've always come up and answered that adversity, and it's very encouraging for the future of this Packers team and all the young guys, because they're looking like true pros in their development year. And I think all that you can hope for, especially this year.
Yes, exactly. It's a shame because, quite honestly, with the drafts the Packers have had in years past, like the defense should have been at its stride last year, and then the offense. If the defense has hit its stride, if all the players had reached their full potential and they were playing as a cohesive unit with all their talents combined, then this would be a really good team because the offense is ahead of track. But no matter what, it is exciting to see this offense perform week in and week out, and like you mentioned, maybe they've hardly been at full strength. Jordan
Yeah.
Love has still had 0 games this year where he's had his full, skill player staff along with him. So, no matter what this year ends up finishing like, our positive takeaway has to be that Jordan Love is the guy. This
Mhm.
offense really seems to have some talented playmakers that are going to be excited to watch continue to grow together as we have been able to see real time in the season. Final thoughts here. I got about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Just add another minute here. So, quick thoughts here before I got to catch my flight back to St. Louis. Very excited to be back home. Um, First, so let's just go key to the game and then our score prediction. Big B, my key to the game here is really just going to be pressuring Jaron Hall. I know we said we were going to go light on Joe Barry this week, but he doesn't
Mhm.
deserve that. If he does not dial it up on Jaron Hall, I, I, I don't know. I will not have any answers, and I will be very frustrated. Undrafted free agent, making one of it. This is his first start, right? Or he started in the Cardinals game and then got hurt, correct?
Sure. I know he
I
played in
believe
the
that's the case.
Cardinals game, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I believe he started, and then Josh Dobbs got in after he got injured. So
Yeah.
there's no reason the Packers should not be sending a ton of pressure for Jaron Hall. Score prediction here: I'm going to go Vikings 28, Packers 20. Big B, I'll have you close this out here.
Yeah, let's go. Key to the game is just not let the Vikings score like more than like 17 points, maybe. I mean, they shouldn't even hit that mark. It should be like the Rams game early in the year, like 20-3. But it should be something like that. But the final score prediction is going to be let's go 31-10. Packers win. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Big
Yes.
B, I appreciate you toughing it out with me. I appreciate the rest of you guys toughing it out with me. We made this work. Go Pack, go. Let's go make the playoffs here.
Please line up on the chair side.